Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, I think you have shared the PowerPoint. You are
Yes.
looking chapter 3,
Yeah.
chapter 3, ethical decision making and moral judgments.
Yes.
Okay, now in this chapter, we'll see about what kind of decision is very moral and very ethical. First of all, at the end of this lesson, students, you'll just understand uh, what ethical decision method mean that, what's moral judgment does mean that. Then you'll identify the moral foundations, especially what are the moral foundations to decide a very ethical decision. And you will understand those standards of, okay, standards, how they apply to specific situations in our decision. Okay, you will understand the standards. Then you will identify how good ethical decision made, and you will understand why we need to be moral. Why we need to be moral. The students, uh, hope that you do have enough of what's decision making. Yeah, decision making. It's better to decide than undeciding. Decision is a process of making choices. Okay, making choice. There are a lot of choices in our life. Okay, one and more than one. And then from this, we have to decide one. But to decide, we have to identify, okay, constraints, barriers, probable conditions, and the best of the given alternatives. We have to choose. Choosing means that deciding. But while we are deciding, what kind of our decision is very moral, very ethical? Now, I will say it. Okay? So, one of the purpose of morality is to give guidance in dealing with right decision. If we are not moral, if we are not ethical, our decision will not be good. We will affect others, and we will always strive to the best of ourselves only. Therefore, morality guides our right decision. Again, morality.
Sir, sorry. ተማሪዎችን አድሚን አድርጋቸው።
Okay. Okay. Morality provides principles and rules that are acceptable to everyone and encourage people to live together peacefully and cooperatively. Morality provides principles, life principles, together principles, coherence principles, rules that are acceptable to everyone and that encourage people to live together peacefully, cooperatively, and orderly. However, we know that it's always a problem for a society to maintain order and prevent or solve the conflicts among themselves. Because of what? Yeah. Therefore, in this chapter, we'll see about what kind of decision is morally worse. Okay? Morally worse. Now, one is, okay, under this, ethical principles and values. Ethical principles. What are these? To solve our conflicts and then to reach on a proper decision. We have to know these ethical principles and values of moral judgments. Now, Let's go through. Therefore, in place of systematically examine ethical frameworks, most people instead carry around useful set of day-to-day rules of a type that influence and govern their behavior. Commonly, and this includes, I am adding you, this includes what's right and what's wrong. Therefore, people has to know first what's morally right and what's morally wrong, and we have to know these common behaviors of a society. Therefore, decisions versus judgments sometimes put into test. This test will be in considering the idea that, okay, it's wrong to kill. Okay, does this mean that, for instance, let's take decisions. Sometimes we can just test decisions and judgments in such a way. For instance, consider the idea that it's wrong to kill. Yeah, we know that killing is very wrong. It's immoral. Okay? Yeah, according to Immanuel Kant, it's not acceptable universally. It's ethical objectivism. Killing, lying, stealing, okay? Physical torturing, treating unequals equally. These all are not. We know that objectively is unethical. But does this mean that? Considers the idea that it's wrong to kill. So let's state our moral decision. So does this mean that capital punishment is wrong? Is it wrong to kill animals? Is killing in the self-defense wrong? No, this all are very hard to give a may or just the answer on itself will not be just rush to answer. So if we try to apply our everyday notions of right and wrong, these questions straightforward, answers are not always forthcoming. Therefore, we need to examine these questions in more detail, and we need theoretical frameworks that can help us to analyze complex problems and find rational, coherent solutions to these problems. Are you listening to me? Are you listening to me, students?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, how did you, just or we, how did we or you arrive at your decision? You have to decide, but your decision will be what? What is coming? Morally sensible. Okay? Therefore, was your decision based on explicitly on ideas of what was right and wrong? Examples. Okay? I should do the best thing for my career in the long run. Yeah, you have to decide to do the best in your career. The second one, it's okay to tell someone a lie if it prevents someone from being hurt by the truth. Now, you will be tested now here. Can you tell a lie to prevent someone from being hurt by the truth? Therefore, you will stagger with the truth. Okay? If someone comes and then asks someone to kill, and you know that his presence around you, is Mr. X around here? Then you will say no, but you know that his presence. So you are lying. Why do you lie? Because of you felt that as if this person will be hurted or killed. Then lying is not acceptable. Then you will be judged as to whether this is moral, as to whether this is morally sensible or ethically right. Now, let's say again, I should always help someone in difficulty. Yeah, to decide this one is very simple. Okay, you can decide. But how you can? Now let's this The following are some of the guidelines for ethical decision-making and moral judgment. Now, the following principles, guidelines gives us a hint, a clue to decide a better decision. Okay? Ethical and moral judgments. Now, let's one. Our moral intuitions and critical reasoning. Our moral intuitions. Inherently, we human beings, inwarded or accustomed or endowed with intuitions, understanding of something. What's intuition mean that? Intuition is a form of cognition or know-how, independent of experience or reason, that regarded inherent qualities of the mind. Yeah, we human beings, not only we human beings, some other organisms are innate behaviors. They know what's wrong, they know what's okay, intended or created a danger over someone or the self. Inherently we are endowed with. Okay? Therefore, moral intuitions and then critical reasoning. Yeah, almost all people, to a greater or lesser extent, are capable of experiencing feelings of empathy. Feelings of empathy. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. You know that what empathy means that? Empathy. Sharing, okay, the difficulties of others. We have to reach on the difficult situations of the others. We have to show the sorrowness of, the sadness of the others. Therefore, almost all people, yeah, all it's rough. We can understand people who are suffering, who are in danger, and so on. Therefore, almost all people, to a greater or a lesser extent, the students are capable of experiencing feelings of empathy towards others. Then this empathy provides us with a sense of what others feeling and may thereby allow us to identify the other people. Therefore, empathy gives us to tailor, okay, our moral sentiments. Okay? Ethical reasoning about these sentiments and gives us moral principles. Therefore, intuition, moral intuitions are very important. Yeah. We can make decisions since it's not we do have a know-how of on something, but we naturally, inherently understand people's who are getting suffer or not. Then based on that, okay, we can make a decision. Under here, you can get a lot of terms, okay, that can describe this empathy, sympathy, compromise, and so on. But now, let's see. Intuition. Intuition as the integration of moral sentiments and principles. And Troyer, you know that, Troyer argued that, okay, intuition is our conscience, he said that, our moral conscience. Okay, conscious means that, okay, knowing something precisely. Okay, conscious. Therefore, our moral conscience then is based on, you know, that emotion, but also supported by reason. ያረኳቸው ነው። I am adding. So, therefore, it's not merely intuition, but it has to be supported by reason. Reason. Therefore, the integration of these moral sentiments and principles Trail, is a philosopher, argues, okay, is our conscience. Our moral conscience then is based on emotions. But we should not only drive it by emotions, but we have to taft it with reason. Reason. Critical reasoning. It's not a mere reason, but we have to just reason out it critically. And let's about these types of reason. Types of reasoning. We can uncover errors. We can uncover. We can unhide mistakes in our own and others' arguments by using what Traer, him in that Traer, calls critical reasoning. One, reasoning by analogy. Deductive reasoning, inductive reasoning. Hope that students previously you understood or you have enough a hint of this inductive and deductive reasoning. Yeah, you have learned it in your previous just lower grades, grade 12 reasonings. Yeah, inductive reasoning, deductive reasoning, okay, and generalizations. What kind of generalization? Hasty, something, just you have learned. Now, let's about this reasoning. Reasoning by analogy. This reasoning by analogy explains one thing by comparing, okay, it with something else that's similar, although also different, okay. We will give ethical decisions by analogy, by comparing one thing with others, comparing and contrasting one similar thing with others. In a good analogy, the similarity outweighs the dissimilarity and then clarifies. For instance, animals are like and unlike, of course, humans. For instance, animals are like and unlike humans. As humans are also animals. Of course, we are conscious animals. We human beings are conscious animals. Is a similarity sufficiently strong to support the argument that we should ascribe rights to non-human animals as we do to humans? Yeah. Okay. Therefore, we can pass decisions by analogy, bringing a similarity and bringing a difference, and then to decide morally and then critically, we can analog one thing with the others. The second one is deductive reasoning. Okay, we can reason out from the general towards the premises, deductive. Okay, yeah, deductive reasoning. For instance, some deductive reasoning, okay, while we deduce from the general towards the premises, or from the general towards the specific, sometimes our reasoning will fail, but mostly it supports our reasoning. For instance, we can say that supporting deductive reasoning. Humans are mortal. Humans are mortal. Therefore, I, your teacher, are human. Then I am mortal. Okay? This reasoning is deductive from the general to the specific. Human is very general. Then I myself is very specific. Therefore, we can just, you can project or step up. Okay, other examples. And the other is inductive reasoning. This reasoning is from the specific to the general, okay, or from the premises to the conclusion. Inductive reasoning involves providing evidence to support a hypothesis or a general conclusion. The fact that there is a mounting evidence that the burning of fossil fuels is having determinant effect on global climate. For example, it is used to substantiate the argument that we have a moral duty to reduce carbon emissions like that. Now, this is an example. I can give you an extra example. Okay? Coronavirus, for instance, rather, all in case of this one, inductive reasoning, okay? Yeah. I can give you an example. For instance, coronavirus. Let's say this virus, in case of deductive reasoning, first. Viruses are, in case of deductive reasoning, viruses are, okay, all viruses are acute or deadly. Corona is a virus. Therefore, corona is a deadly disease. Or deductive reasoning. This one is supporting. Okay? But in case of inductive reasoning, we can put premises. Okay? If something this one, then that will happen, that one, then this one is this one. Therefore, we will say that wild animals are furious. Okay? Therefore, tiger is a wild animal. Therefore, it is furious or cruel or deadly. It can support. Or we can bring another way these premises. We can bring another premises. Therefore, more of premises are very supporting to reach on critical reasoning. The other one is to reach on critical reasoning, ethics and religious faith. Yeah. We should not undermine religious faith beliefs because religions teach about morality, brotherhood, fraternity, understanding, empathy, sharing, compromise. Okay? Therefore, our decision will be good and reasonable if it is supported by a religious faith. No religion, okay, recommends to kill human. No religion supports to teach theft. No religion supports lie. Therefore, ethics and religious faith are very crucial to pass ethical and moral judgments. For instance, there is another important argument that people use when making ethical arguments. Okay? And religious faith. Martin Luther King, okay, said that no one can be moral without religion. No one can be moral without religion. Therefore, people should respect religious teachings. Okay? Therefore, for many people, morality and religious faith go hand in hand. But this all will not be relying on rational arguments. Some people view actions as being right or wrong in terms of whether they are commanded by God. Gods might be different. Therefore, we cannot support religious teachings with rational reasoning, but it can give us or supports us to reach on reasonable decision. Okay? Some moral philosophers do not view arguments based on religious faith, of course, as being rationally defensible, because religion is belief, accepting. You cannot put rationalization or as mathematical principle. It's merely accepting. It's merely believing. Say that some moral philosophers do not view arguments based on religious faith as being rationally. Say that. They believe that, these philosophers, they believe that we can determine through rational reflection what's right and what's wrong. If a God commands only what's right, then logically this makes divine commands unnecessary. We are able to know what's right and what's wrong without relying on any divine commandments, as we can use rational reflection. They said that. Not necessarily. However, faith-based arguments are relevant to moral philosophy for several reasons. Therefore, we should not undermine or underestimate the ability of the moral teachings of religious tradition. Students, let's come to an example. For instance, which one is the very best to reach on reconciliation, okay, between people who are quarreled, okay, or injured each other? Is that the law of court or the reconciliation of religious fathers? Yeah, reconciliation by far. If it's not absolute, by far it's better, while it's resolved among religious fathers, local elites, okay? This life of that of the Shimgilina, the Baitos, the Jarsuma, or the Sharia, yeah. While decisions are reached and tapped with a religious phase, it's very binding. One, the mediators do have the background not to do wars, but over the disputants or the argumentatives. But law, of course, will objectively decide over the case, reviewing or interpreting the laws objectively and pass decisions. But this all objective interpretations of the laws and passing decisions over the disputant parties, then disputants will not get a rest. They will not satisfy with the decisions of the lowest in the court. And they will go again appellation. They will appeal. Okay? Vertically, they will appeal to the High Court, to the Supreme Court, or even they will need about cassation. ሰበር ሰሚ ችሎት ድረስ ሊሄዱ ይችላሉ። They will not satisfy with the decision of the court. But if the case is solved by the religious fathers or faith-based, okay, resolutions, okay, they will humbly stay and then accept that processes, religious faith processes, and that decision will be binding. Therefore, in our decisions, we have to, okay, bear the religious faith. We should not just undermine the religious faith. Therefore, we will be reasonable again. We will be morally sensible again. Therefore, religious faith is one of a key to reach on ethical and moral judgments. The other is moral arguments. There are tests of, we have seen it before, testing moral arguments. Why to test a moral argument? Then we have to test moral arguments. For instance, factual accuracy. Okay? Is our decision is factually accurate? Is our decision is very consistent? Consistency. Is our decision is with goodwill? Here. Now, let's see what's factual accuracy, consistency, and goodwill. Factual accuracy. You know that. Let's mention a philosopher, David Hume. Okay? From 1711 up to 1776, he argued that we should not drive an out from an is. This means that we cannot say that something is wrong or right simply based on how things are. That means it's beyond. This is reasonable, but does not mean that ethical discussion should be discovered from fact. Yeah. Our argument has to stress on fact. Then it can prevail us to accuracy. The accuracy of the factual content of the discussion is very important. Factual content. To decide, we have to lay a foundation. What is the fact behind? What was going on? What has happening? The process. We have to view going back. Then our decision will be what? Moral. Then we have to test our decision as to whether it's based on factual accuracy or not. The other is consistency. Okay? Arguments need to be consistent from the beginning up to the end. Okay? Factors. Okay? Premises. Or the logic that we are going to put and reach on decisions should support our decisions. What was the cause? Cause 1, cause 2. Then what it led to something. then this one and that one. These are. Therefore, one factor should support the others. It has to show consistency. If our premises are very fragile, if one cannot support the others, and then if we reached our decisions, then it's not moral. Because through the process, we'll left or we'll hide, okay, factual evidences. Okay? Yeah, therefore, consistency means that one can only argue that it's morally wrong to kill one person and yet morally acceptable to kill another. Another examples we can mention. If one can demonstrate there is a morally relevant difference between the two individuals, to kill or not to kill, we have to bring a consistent premises. For example, again, the moral arguments that debts owed by poorer nations, the debts, okay, owned by poorer nations to the international lenders should be cancelled, will say someone. If I stand and say this one, now on, we should not accept loan, help, in whatever case. So, I have to bring a consistent argument. Why I'm saying that? If that is what? I have to just, again, lay another example. Does this therefore mean that all poor people who owe money to banks should also have their debts cancelled? Yeah. Owning cancellation. If you don't think that all individuals' debt should be cancelled, but you don't think that poorer countries' debt should be cancelled, then you have to show that there is a moral difference between these. Okay? The moral difference between these two. Otherwise, your arguments are inconsistent. We have to show the consistency of our arguments. Okay? Yeah. Then if our argument is very consistent, then we can say that our decision is morally sensible. If not, it might be emotional and haphazard thought. The other is goodwill. To reach on a very ethical and moral sensible decision, there must be a goodwill. Yeah. It's one of moral testing. If you are willful, then we can reach on a best decision. This is one of the most difficult criteria to quantify, of course, because while arguments may be factually correct and consistent, they also exemplify goodwill. Okay, you will be just factual. You will stress on consistency, but if you lack goodwill, then things are lost there. This is our last there. You know that sometimes the violation of the laws, okay, lawyers know that what the law says. The police officer knows that what the law says. Okay, they know the fact, they know the process or the consistency of the way or the process. But if they lost goodwill, they can do something very immoral or wrong. Okay? Therefore, goodwill involves resorting to our intuitions and emotions. Goodwill is from our bottom of hearts, our conscience, and our emotions. But it's difficult to define goodwill is theoretical debate. Therefore, goodwill is very important. If we do have goodwill, then we can pass a very precise and sensible decisions. Therefore, goodwill is very important. The other one is, the other subtopic or parts of to pass ethical and moral judgments are thinking ethically. We have to think ethically. Therefore, it's a framework for moral decision making. Okay. How we can think ethically? Although ethics deals with right and wrong, it's not a discipline that always leads everyone to the same conclusion. Yeah. We know that what's right and what's wrong, but on different conditions, based on this rightness and wrongness, everyone will not reach on the same conclusion. Of course, deciding ethical issues can be equally difficult for conservatives and liberals. Okay. Therefore, to guide our reflection on such difficult questions, philosophers should have a means. But these philosophers and religious teachers will reach on what's right and what's wrong, and to seek a solution, they will have different means. Okay? But they do have a means to shape various approaches to reach on ethical decision making. Philosophers, religious teachers, and other professionals or thinkers have shaped various approaches to think and seek ethical decision making. One, fairness and justice. What's fairness? Okay. We will use these terms mostly in our day-to-day, in our bit-by-bit process or activities, communications. We will say, oh, guys, it's not fair. Guys, it's not just. No, it's very unjust. Beyond this, we will say that, oh, it's very shame. Therefore, we have to know these approaches, fairness and justice. Fairness does mean that treating individuals equally. Okay? Treating individuals equally. In correcting wrongness, in distributing services, and in the process finding about causes or seeking information. We have to be fair. If you are fair, then we can reach on moral decisions. Justice again. We have to do just among individuals. We should not stress or base up on the diversities. And we have to know that diversity is natural. We should not do something unjust based on religion, ethnic background, color, sex, or some other statuses, or situations, or on personal benefits. Therefore, we have to do just. If we do just, this approach will give us a framework for moral decision making. Then our decision will be morally sensible. The common good. Okay, the common good again. We have to strive for the common good. We should not always seek to serve the self. Okay, therefore, our interests, our practices should not violate the interests of, should not cross over the interests of the others or the community, the communals, the majority. Let's see this one. What's common good? The common good approach states what's ethical is what advances the common good. Community members are bounded by the pursuit of, the pursuit, the seek, the common values and goals. The common good is a notion that originated more than this one years ago, in the writings of Plato, Aristotle, and Cicero. And more recently, contemporary ethist John Rawls defined the common goal as certain general conditions that are equally everyone's advantage. The common good. Examples of common good. Okay. That include or affordable everyone in healthcare, in public safety, in security, and in legal system, and on common environmental conditions. One should not pollute the environment. We should not pollute the environment since we need to need our compound. Yes, of course, we should not need our compound, but just after that, that byproducts, that garbage, might be the fluid or the dry wastes, should not affect the community, the common road, the common public service. Okay? The water. Therefore, we have to strive while we are striving to the common good, therefore, our decision will be more sensible. Again, it presents about the vision of society as a community whose members are joined in a shared pursuit of values and goals as they hold in common. Because communities, their integration, their upbringings, in happiness and tiredness, sharing the misery, might be the physical and human. Okay? Then they have to respect and share the interests commonly. The next one is, before that, let's give what's fairness and justice, prior to what we have said. From this, we have said that what's common good, what's fairness, utilitarianism. Let's see this one. What's fairness? I told you what's fairness and what's justice. To put details in written,